it can look good. If you get the blink and you just end up farming, it's kind of a waste. Like that's the key timing of the Tiny, and you just don't play to its strength, so you lose its impact. It doesn't snowball. It doesn't scale into a core. It just kind of looks like a bad pick when you don't play it around that tempo.
It looks like Zhao's having a bit of packet loss here, so we'll just wait it out. Gonna upgrade the internet a little bit, Gary. Come on now. Stop trying to save money. My goodness.
I don't think they're on the indie home packet Phoenix, but I've had
not.
friends complain about it. I've had friends I've queued up with, and they're like, "Oh my god, their ping is at 200." I'm like, "What am I supposed to do about that? It's nothing."
Are you in charge of the win
Wow.
probability here, John?
Whoa!
Is that you?
Holy! That's a little bit too based for me.
This is John X5's win probability right here. Before the draft even started. This is it.
You reckon that this Dota 2 win probability thing actually checks teams? Like in a pro match, it checks ticketed games where these two team IDs faced off against each other and makes that prediction. It would be funny if it did. It would be funny if it did.
It would be great if it did. I'd love it if it did, John, but it definitely does. Like, there's no way they went that far. You know they didn't go that far, John. It's too much work.
I mean,
it probably isn't that much work. You'd have to have like a database of pro games, but you'd have to have.
It's already stored on server. It's already stored on server anyway, right? Like it is there with the replays, so you do have the data all parsed out.
I'm not an engineer, John. I don't know. I don't know these things, John.
But it's funny. It's just funny to imagine that it saw a 5-0 scoreline from Talon in like 2 series and said, "Yep, 100%." And then, of course, when you hit the lands and you get a Southeast Asian team up against literally any team, it's 100% the other way. Because hey, that's where we're at right now.
Don't depress me already, John. We're in the qualifiers here, right? I don't want to talk about the lands. I've been trying to make excuses as well. SEA only gets 1 slot. That's my excuse these days.
Yeah.
Of course we can't win. We only have 1 team. How many teams does Europe have? Like 50 teams?
Oh,
of course.
100.
Of course we can't win.
Last time, no, they got they get the experience. They get the exposure. It feels good. Also, the most competitive environment, as they say. There was a time when Europe was kind of overrated. We were all having a bit of a laugh at it.
Yeah.
I guess this is karmic retribution. That we get
it might be.
all the slots, and it's just like, all right, 4 years of this, let's go. That's it. It'll swing back, Mike. The pendulum will swing. You just got to believe. As eventually, I also believe that this internet issue will be fixed.
Well,
eventually.
It's either they... Uh-oh.
Mikado was like, Biznet. Well, at least it's not in the home packet Phoenix.
Maybe it should have been, John. Maybe that would have resolved this issue that we're having here.
No, it's terrible.
Here we go. A bit of conversation. Makoto's having some loss. I doubt it.
He's not disconnected.
Unlike Boom Esports, who haven't invited us to their gaming house yet, John, we've actually been to Talon's game house before, and it was very nice. Shout out to the boys at Talon. Gary, I hope you're listening, so we'd love to visit the Boom Esports team house if you wanted to, pay for some flights. Here we go. My city is built different.
Mikado gets a tip. He gets a little tip from FBZ, which is the one that matters as well. FB on FB, John Anthony. What is wrong? Why is Natsumi getting the shots this time? Rich boy Mikado, as we do get the go-aheads. Natsumi can never not cop it, He's always... If there was anyone that embodies the tagline of still moving under gunfire, it's Natsumi. He gets shot by his own teammates.
Why do you keep bringing up SMG, John?
Gotta bring it up. You just gotta do it sometimes, You think back to those glorious days of those matches that you never knew would go whichever way. I miss that era, Mike. I just do.
They're only under gunfire because you keep taking shots at them, John. It's you. You're the guy that's putting them under gunfire.
You can just call me Luigi, Mike.
Oh, hold on. We better not go there, John. Jesus Christ. Free my boy. Anyway, moving on. Boom vs. Talon. You really take it to dark places, you do, John. I mean, we may as well keep talking because we're going to get another pause anyway, right? Well, why do you got to do this? Every time we're casting a qualifier, you got to risk our careers. Every time, without a doubt.
It's just a topical meme. What do you mean? I'm not saying anything with it. It's just the latest meme.
Yeah.
It's in the news. It's just a meme. You know, it's all over.
This year's probably going to be very memey, John. You know,
yeah.
Especially in about 3 days from now, Australian time.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably going to be a very memey year.
It's been spectacular. I've been. It's hard to keep up because there's just so many evolutions in the meme market. We have packet loss now on. Why is it not Sumi?
Throw the book at them, Barry.
What's he doing?
Throw the book at him, Barry. Give him the timer. Don't let him get away with this, sir. He's not going to throw the
I
book
blame
at him, John.
Alphon for that. If there's a network issue on Talon, shout out to Lane, Mr. Isaac Lane Alphon. It's his fault. 100% every single time. He's also moving on to Gunfire.
You just reminded me Alphon's part of Talon now. And he probably heard our comments about visiting Talon's game house, and he probably thought, yeah, this game house is better anyway. Don't worry, boys. You know, Alphon talks so much smack when Gary's not listening. Gary, if you're listening, and you are, I know you're listening to this cast, Alphon's been talking smack. I'll talk to you about it when we see each other.
The battle begins.
Oh,
Tims?
poor boy Alphon.
Cog's going to lock him in. Tims, finding out the hard way why you don't want to play Pulse 4 Gyrocopter, John. Tims is probably just dead. Natsumi off to a brilliant start with the first blood on the bristleback.
And they somehow get away with 3 bounty runes as well on Talon, so they get a little bit of a bonus for themselves to kick things off. A nice strong start. Not the kind of start you'd want to see if you're a Boom fan, but it's the kind of start you'll have to settle with. At the very least, we can see these lanes start to break out. You do have Mikado on that Lina matchup up against Mac, and it's like you said there, Mikey, in the draft. You have the tree grab, you have the cleave, you can try to control the lane. But Mikado is not really going to care too much. Maybe level 1 is still mildly annoying. Level 2, you have the Fiery Soul to help trade. By level 3 with level 2 Dragon Slave, you're pretty happy in that lane. So you're not really going to be minding too much as Mikado, especially once the tree does disappear. Rune control is a pretty big aspect for these two. And that is something that I don't think Boom has the best presence in rotating for Rune Secure. Like Batrider and Gyrocopter don't necessarily have the biggest presence overall. In comparison to, say, the Clockwork and CM, that could be where the challenges arise later on here for Boom into, say, the 6-minute rune at the very least.
Well, how's the top lane going? You've got Cuckoo, you've got Natsumi. Of course, Natsumi, as we talked about, had an amazing start with that first blood bonus going his way. Wave is a bit far forward, so FBZ is going to have a good enough time just farming this creep wave. But again, I feel like this Natsumi lane is going to be pretty good. Like, if you get the skill back into the tier 1 tower, sure, things can change pretty fast. They are poking and prodding at Natsumi as well. But you get a bracer up or two, and suddenly you're just unkillable in the laning stage for the Bristle. And yeah, even if he can't find any kind of kill himself, he already got first blood. He's not going to mind. And if Tims is ever out of position, he's just basically as good as dead. Natsumi? Well, they were looking for a skewer. They won't catch him. Bottom lane, Joe Cam and WS going to be up against Zhao and Jackie. This lane going okay so far for Jackie. I don't really see them pressuring him too much. But then again, the whole point of this lane, I think, is WS farming really well.
This is also really interesting. When you get the Alpha Wolves out for WS, he had Pack Leader a while ago, which is just standard Lycan, but changes his last second for the Alpha Wolves. He's got the level 5 Wolves, max level 5, max level 6 Wolves, and a lower level in Howl. I'm fascinated by this. I feel like I've had so many discussions with a different set of coaches in the backs, how they feel about Alpha Wolves. They think it's kind of awkward losing that level in Howl, and the Wolves themselves are kind of strong, but also maybe not strong enough to justify this facet. I'm keen on seeing what WS does, because even in other Lycan games that we've seen, it has been Pack Leader Lycan. You know, just standard Lycan Overlord Dominator build-up. This is where it gets a little bit different. So I'm wondering what WS has in mind. There is a lot more microplay. There's a lot of early rundown potential with those higher level wolves. You just lose out on mitigating some of the damage that can come in from Jackie with just the level 3 Howl. So that physical burst is still going to scale. You're not going to be mitigating damage as much as you would on, say, a standard Lycan here.
It will be very interesting. I look forward to seeing what he gets done with this this facet. Now you've got me intrigued, John. I'm trying to look through and see what the reason could be for WS choosing this over the pack leader, but well, we'll find out at some point. I'm sure he's got some kind of idea. Mid lane, Makoto really starting to give it to Mac now. You're at that stage where the lane is going to start to become a huge problem in this mid lane. Of course, Makoto is really starting to dominate the CS as well here. He's already about 10 ahead of the tiny of Mac, so this lane probably not going to get much easier here for Mac. Makoto looking like he's set up for a good game.
And he is, which is to be expected in this matchup. Again, you can't expect too much into even just a 4-minute water rune as well. Finding 1-to-1 is already happy enough for Mac. You're not fully crushing. I mean, you're not finding kill opportunities, obviously, on Mikado, but into the 6-minute rune, that's where the possibilities open up. The sister rotation in the Crystal Maiden could be pretty nice. Just a nice slow and frostbite into chain stuns, or just a lot of damage coming in, will lead to some good opportunities for Mikado, and his timing into his travel shouldn't be too bad. They're starting to poke and prod at WS, and a couple of good melts and side blades from Jackie and some burn damage from Zhao can get that done. And I guess the one thing with Alpha Wolf Lycan, you don't really feel its effect until you start to hit at least level 5 wolves, right? Like, that's when you start to play with a hamstring, you start to play with that root, which can be quite devastating early on. And it does take levels for that to get in, so it's a bit of a waiting game for Talon's investment to get online. You are getting a lot of emphasis into the mid already, despite not really having runes. You do have room to kind of stack up just a bit on Tim's in the triangle. He does at least get that done, and he'll be able to try to contest for the bounty, but doesn't actually commit for it. So you still have the bottle top up left for Mikado. No, he turns around after making a bit of a decision. That is leaving a bit of a free lane for Natsumi, which is concerning when you do give a free lane out to the Bristleback with no real outcomes on the rotations from Tim's. But it is also free XP out for FBZ, so at least you have a free ride into 6 here, although...
Oh, top lane, speaking of the devil Natsumi, he's alright. It's just hard. He turns his back, suddenly you have no damage. Natsumi, top of the CS board as well. And if worse comes to worse, he can always just go start jungling with cool spray spam. You've got the CM aura to kind of keep you happy on the mana pool. So happy days so far for the side of Talon. So the mid and safe lane have gone very well. And we already kind of said as well, with WS, you aren't even looking to dominate the lane. You just need to get through the laning stage, as it's Lycan to have a good game, I think. Though I must say, WS going for a Midas is not what I had in mind.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. Again, it feels like he's going to go for maybe more right-click presence himself, which could be an interesting way to play it. A little bit of a gate movement up top from Zhao, already spotting Natsumi low in backline, along with FBZ and Tim's looking to shove in. They've gotten a good opportunity to try to pincer out, but with Zhao being spotted early, Natsumi should just be safe. Question now is whether or not Talon will try to come in with more bodies to force a fight somehow.
Oh, Zhao. Zhao's in trouble. Firefly, Flame Break, gonna try to run away from Natsumi, and he might just have enough. The sticky napalm spam with the slow proving to be enough to get away from Natsumi. Not able to really set up for a kill. I'm not really sure what the idea is for the Bat Rider to be in this area anyway. It's like he will go back for the Wisdom Rune for now. But certainly kill attempts onto the Bristleback I deem kind of impossible at the moment. Again, unless you can force him past your tier 1 tower, and even then it's going to be pretty hard.
It's a rough chase on something so tanky. Maybe if you had a rotation out from Mac, like if this Tiny was willing to show up, perhaps you'd have enough damage. It's hard to see Mac kind of leaving that lane just yet. Still trying to work onto some initial build-up. At least has a Soul Ring set to come in. Get the toss out on Jokam as well to prevent the rotation out. At least they cut off some relief perhaps onto top. And you do have WS alone.
Yeah, WS in a lot of danger now. Zhao's doing so much damage, but the TP's from Talon quick enough. In fact, Jokam, he's looking for Jackie. He'll land the cogs. Jackie, between a rock and a hard place, gonna go down as Talon. Very quick rotations, finding a very important target.
And just a bit of a deep dive and deep commitment from Zhao. Puts Jackie in such an awkward position. And yes, the toss back was nice from Mac, but leaving Jokam here does give him easier access to run back into that bot area. So maybe cutting off the TP was nice, but you still have a decent distance to come in here on the clock. and you find a nice freebie to take here for yourself, you're feeling pretty good from Talon. And it's a slower game for both sides. 0-2, 1k lead for Talon is coming out. Free farm coming out for Natsumi and for Mikato. And not too shabby farm for WS. But some initial timings are still slowly being formed up by Boom. They're still shoving up top. The scan does allow Natsumi to walk away again from any sort of gank attempt as they're trying to sneak in behind that tier 1. It doesn't feel like this movement is going to line up to anything. I'm surprised we're not seeing more commitment onto WS. It's like this is probably the easiest target to go for at the moment, if not Mikado, if you manage to catch him out somehow. But he is also just free farming again into this timing on the Midas, already has it, into the power treads next. And as levels go up, like now he has the level 4 wolves. So it's starting to get to that point where Alpha wolves will start to kick in.
Bottom, or rather top lane, excuse me, Joe Cam does go down, but they might find a trade and they will. Tims will drop. Makoto with a nice little rotation, able to secure a quick one with the Laguna. Yeah, I'm still just so curious about this Lycan build-up. Is it like, well, what's the idea here? I'm waiting to see what he buys after the treads. Because my mind is still like, surely he's going Helm the Overlord. But with the Midas pickup, I'm like, is he really though?
Yeah, I don't know if it's as good if you go for the creep army because of that lower level on Feral Impulse. You don't get the max level 4, so it's a little bit less output in your army. It could be right-click, something like Echo Saber Harpoon or just Aura build-up. Maybe something like an AC down the line. It feels like that's the best case scenario because these wolves can set up for you to go for solo kills so nice once they are leveled up here. So
that's what's starting to feel like. It's starting to feel like WS might go for a right-click style build on this Lycan. I mean, I'd like to see it. I don't think right-click build on Lycan's bad by any stretch. It can be actually quite hard to go up against. We'll wait and see. He hasn't queued up any extra items yet, so we won't know. Unless, you know, we saw something really crazy like an Ags Rush. You know, just give Wolfbite to... I mean, the thing is, they've got a really strong mid-game timing. Like, imagine just Wolfbiting Natsumi. Like, you can't kite the bristle anymore.
Don't get me excited, Mike. Yeah, that's something I'd love to see. I don't think Talon's going to go down. I think WS is that keen on just farming for his carry. He will probably try to boost himself up. You are starting to see Jackie have a field day down bot, though, every single time he's landing this max meld onto WS. Not a great time for the Lycan in that solo lane, regardless. But they are keeping equilibrium here on Talon. Look, there's no opportunity for the side of Boom to push. Same thing kind of goes for Talon. For WS, like, he's not able to shove in onto the tier 1. He hasn't really done damage onto that bot tier 1. Mid and top are also very healthy on the side of Boom. So, yeah, this honestly, Mike, this is pretty on brand for Talon with, again, a different roster. This almost reminds me of Talon from 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It's eerily similar, Mr. Michael Phoenix.
Let's not insult the current Talon, Jonathan. My goodness, don't be like that. We're only 12 minutes into the game. John, give us a break.
So, I mean, look, we're 1-3. There's some people looking for double-digit kills on the board. Might be starting to get a little tense, you know? They want some action. Maybe this will lead to some action. A bit of a smoke out here.
They get the amp damage rune on Mac. Maybe not. No need. I'm telling you, John. It's really the 20-minute mark where I think things start to get really crazy. It's WS. Lasso's going to connect. He got the wolf form off in time, so chances are he could probably just get up. The flame break does connect and the toss is there. Very nice. That's an important kill to secure. WS will go down. I think in about 5 to 10 minutes, this game will be very chaotic.
As it should be. Like, you reach the point where Mikado starts to get his Ags online at that point. Ags online for Natsumi at that point as well. And it is a right-click Lycan. He is going for Echo Saber into Yasha Manta.
Okay.
So we will get that up. Max still on the chase. I like seeing this out from our Tiny. Just willing to look for those burst plays in stark contrast to what we've seen from past Tiny games. Some early activities certainly helps, especially as you start to max out that Avatos. Blink not too far off from Max, so getting these moves out shouldn't be too hard to see down the line. And again, with that kill earlier, Bloom taking the tier 1, have more room for themselves. Clearing out some stacks in the Ancients. WS is keeping track with the Wolves, but doesn't really have the damage to do that solo. He does have the level 5 Wolves up. So they do have that, what do you call it? The hamstring. They have a hamstring.
I believe it's called cripple now, John. Hook shot is in. Jackie is going to go down. I mean, it's a quick kill. He's actually clapping while this is happening because he can't do anything about it. And of course, this Bat Rider of Zhao could not really help out either. Just a flame break thrown out as the bottom tier 1 tower now going to be under siege by Talon. Well, we'll get away with this quite fast.
I'm keen on seeing how much this hamstring does. It is a new ability on the Alpha Wolves. Like, the cripple is still there, but you do have the hamstring. A little bit of a root, 8-second cooldown. It does not pierce debuff immunity at the very least, but it is annoying. I guess there you go. Mac gets bit by a wolf.
There it is.
Gets annoyed.
Well, that is kind of annoying, isn't it,
It's
John?
something. And it is. I'm curious to see how Hightail does as well. A bit of an active. So, a lot of intense micro for you to maximize here on WS once that's up. But he is reaching that point. And again, 2 to 4, despite that death on WS, you're buying free space for Natsumi. There's no target painted on Mikado's back. Ags is still lining up for these two heroes quite nicely. Heck, Natsumi's, I believe, is already flying out now. Straight into a Voodoo Mask, into his Bloodstone later on.
Okay, that's
Your
legit
timings are
annoying.
lining up here.
That's legitimately annoying. Like, hamstring, like, it's a 0.5 second root. But then 50 damage bonus for all the creeps hitting? Like, what the hell is that? Zhao went from full HP to half HP with 1 hamstring. Okay, that's legitimately annoying. Like, that actually looked kind of broken. I'm not gonna lie. Like, and they both have it. If you chain them properly, that's actually, like, disgusting.
Yeah. And then, again, you say he has max level wolves now, WS, so he also gets the Hightail active, which is movement, attack speed.
It's like, at first, you think, oh, there's not that much damage. And then they hit after the hamstring, and you're like, wait, what the hell is that? What is that damage? So stupid.
Great.
All right. I mean, if you're a support in these kind of games, you just want to quit the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're just gonna get hamstringed by these wolves every 2 seconds. Like, just leave me alone.
Oh, look at this. 1 wolf, a quarter of your HP on Tim's. It takes so long to die. It's hilarious. This is okay. This is cute. I like it. I like it.
You know what would have
They're
made
gonna
this better,
smoke
John?
out as well. Oh yeah, what would?
Necromonicons.
Necronomicon. Oh yeah, you were gonna say it.
With plus 50 damage. Imagine that. How great would that have been? Smoke on smoke scenario. Wolves seeing nothing so far. Meanwhile, other side, Mac trying to secure the regen room, but it has been caught out by Joe Cam. Here comes the help, but it's not going to be quick enough. The Laguna will take him out. As now
Oh my god.
Damage!
Oh my god.
Oh my god! And you know the worst part, something I didn't think about, John, is Natsumi's going to have nasal goo to minus armor. Once you have shards up, the hairball, it's going to apply 2 stacks immediately. And then the wolves can just delete you.
Oh, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. I didn't have any expectations for this. I thought the Tim's. Look at that.
Oh my god! What is this? Somebody help
This
Tim!
is just- Oh my god.
He's gonna blink in. He's like, hold on a minute. He's actually dying.
I believe this is what you Australians would call a little bit of a dingo problem, Mike. They're out of control out there. You have some problems. They're grabbing the babies, Mike. The babies.
Oh, that's amazing. They'll get the tier 1 mid tower. Tim's is being chased again, the poor guy. Leave Tim's alone. He's had enough.
Here we go. Oh my lord. This is... Oh my lord.
This is unbelievable! If Jackie wasn't there, he was just gonna die. Oh, he can't actually kill him. They've got too much HP.
This is just ridiculous. Oh, this is just too much. You get the level 15 plus 350 Wolves health as well. If that's the route WS will go. I mean, look, okay. It's not like we haven't seen right-click Lycan, right?
Oh, it's alright. Oh, no. Oh, Tims, be careful.
Oh.
That Nighttail is actually broken as. 100% evasion. on the Nighttail, on the wolves, so you can't kill them quick enough. Like, Jackie couldn't kill them. Oh, Tim's is okay. They can't see him. He's alright.
I feel like these values are not acceptable. 8 seconds, 100% evasion. I mean, sure,
That's
you can
crazy.
melt them with spells, but if you can't, you know, that is crazy. That is just crazy that a spell like that exists, and no one's been using this. No one's been really popping the alpha wolves, right? I think we've seen it in other qualifiers in other regions, but like 1 or 2 games, and it maybe doesn't get maximized in the way you'd expect. This is peak from WS, I have to say. Hats off to him
brilliant.
for bringing this tech out. And he's got the Echo, he's got the Yasha, we've got the smoke out from the side of Talons. They're on the hunt, and these wolves are just on the hunt for Tims. He has not had rest, this man.
Tim's is actually just not playing a game. Zhao's gonna die. This is unbelievable. It's like, it's turning the game into a 4v5. Like, one support just never can do anything because he never has HP. Tim's is just carrying his shovel and getting salves every 2 seconds so he can keep reaching. Top lane?
Level not.
Well, maybe he can find Makoto. Makoto's got the full ags up, by the way, but he did use the flame cloak because there is going to be an RP. FBZ's got a great target. Call down out. Makoto's actually just going to go for the TP away. Oh, and he can't get it. Homing missile barely landing in time. That's a great kill.
Massive kill for the side of Boom, and something they desperately needed. I mean, nothing's been happening for the past few minutes. They have lost a couple of supports, but we haven't seen that tempo kick in, which we talked about this draft needing tempo, needing to find something. Even just a one-man RP, certainly worth your trouble here.
Hims.
They might find a little bit more.
Oh boy, Toro, look at this. Look at this. It's just that they leave the wolves to do it. Oh my god.
Natsumi?
Natsumi does die. That's more important. That's a great kill. Why was he even there, I wonder?
He did get harpooned back and skewered back, so
Okay.
he was just slightly out of position. Good punishment out from FBZ. And Boom are utilizing their vision well. Like, their wards are alright, but the traps are really setting the difference here in terms of finding these opportunities that they've found. The side of Talon have to be a bit cautious about bleeding this gold lead back because, you know, Boom, it's like you mentioned, 20 minutes into 25, their timings start to come online. Jackie's already at the point where he can start to take some objectives on his own. He's got the Blink Dragonlance Deso now. You're pretty much set to go on your TA. You're going for the BKB next. And once that's up, one team fight into Roshan becomes quick. He stops Januel from TPing. Good old WS, and he could find this. He finds it.
He certainly does. Very, very nice from WS. I didn't realize these... So they get hamstrings committed, and then their next 4 attacks are plus 50 damage. That's how it works. Okay. So it's not the duration of hamstring where they get the bonus damage. It's 4 attacks after the hamstring, which is way crazier.
Yep. It's great. You have the hightail as well. Get that bonus attack speed along with the move speed and the invasion. It all lines up, and you're getting freebies from WS. They're not even committing for these support kills. Mind you, that's the worst thing about this. Right? Like, it costs you nothing but micro while your hero's AFK in jungle. Like, you are just getting impact. They've got room now to try to contest Roshan.
He's alright. Boom. Boom trying to go for a smoke. They're gonna find Cuckoo. Cuckoo's actually not dead yet, though. That's concerning. He'll finally go down. Meanwhile, Talon, they want to just force a fight. Cogs out on Jackie, finding the primary target already, and Jackie is just deleted. My goodness, even Tim's getting caught in the tree line. I'll tell you what, John, like, you saw the avalanche toss out, not killing Cuckoo straight away. That's pretty concerning. Like, that's a CM you couldn't burst down in one combo. And it's not like she has a cloak or anything. Like, she's got no magic resist. Just a raindrop.
Yeah, it's rough days. And this is something we always talk about when we see this core tiny. It just doesn't feel like the Ava toss keeps up at certain points once HP is high enough. And there is a lot of HP to go around the game nowadays. We have a quick pause. We've got loss for Tims. As does look like, what was it that Mikado said? Biznet is
yes.
maybe the culprit. Shout out again to the good old Indie Home Packet Phoenix.
You never go wrong with Indie Home, John. Never go wrong with those blokes.
Oh, they've got a full reset. Look at that.
this.
Gary's coming. He's pulled the router off. He's yelling at the team. It's like, what are you guys doing? No. Why are you getting bitten by the wolf? It's just a dog. That's just going off.
That's literally what he would say. That's literally what he would say too.
Oh yeah. You know, the funny thing is, like, if you know, in your pubs, you run into the one odd Lycan player who's still trying to get these Spirit Wolves off, and that's where you go mainly on the right click Lycan. This is the real way. This is the real way, because you're still going to be tanky, you're still going to have damage, and now your wolves are literally God's worst creation on Earth. There's no way this came from the Garden of Eden. No way.
I can't wait to try this. There's no way people in the pubs are gonna know what's happening. Like this is, for me, this feels like free MMR. I'm not sure if this is something I've just missed. Oh, clearly I've missed it, Jonathan, because I didn't know it was this broken. But I'm running offlane Lycan like next pub I play. I'm just chasing supports the whole game with my wolves now. That's it. They're gonna have no idea what's happening. It's gonna be amazing.
Oh yeah. 100%. They're gonna end up spending all their gold on sentries as well, just to watch out. You know, the economy's down the toilet. The wards are gonna be gone. All because of Wolfman.
This is scarier than Nick's Assassin.
Oh, it actually
Nick's
is.
Assassin. These wolves are scarier.
I mean, look, Vendetta has a cooldown, right? Like, your uptime on the wolves is just stupid. 30-second cooldown, 50-second duration. You're always going to have wolves running around, ready to rip your targets apart. I want to see level 25.
Maybe that's why he bought. Maybe that's why he bought the Midas, because he wants to hit level 25. No, think about it, John. This is the one time I want Talon to drag out the game, so I can see how stupid 4 wolves look.
That is fair. I don't think they're going to be as tanky, however. I mean, to be fair, 100% evasion. It doesn't matter what your HP is. Why does it have 100% evasion? For 8 seconds.
8 whole seconds. What's the
100%.
At least a 50-second cooldown on the high tail. You know, I thought maybe there'd be like 100% uptime or something just to make it worse, but there's not.
I mean, the wolves only last 50 seconds, Mikey. So
MacTeasy.
MacTeasy. All right, Natsumi. 4 is life here. I have no clue what he means by that, Mac. You're speaking English, and I don't even understand it.
No.
I'd actually prefer him to just type something in Filipino, as we do get the go-ahead. Gary's done yelling about dogs.
Ironically, you probably wouldn't understand if they did talk Filipino, John. Let's be honest.
I'll get the grasp, little hints on the edge of the conversation, you know? That's all I'll have. And they've got the security set up on Talon. Secondary life for Natsumi, going into the Bloodstone next, into a little bit of armor. Perhaps looking for the AC for himself if wanted, or a Shivas to just slow them down and catch them in. You're almost at the point where WS gets his full harpoon. And quite literally, WS, outside of maybe 1 or 2 teamfights where he shapeshifts in, has done nothing but micro his wolves while he AFKs in jungle. So you gotta enjoy that gameplay, as he is just A-clicking into camps, micros the wolves, turns on hightail, and just, again, AFKs in camps. This is a surprising amount of actions per minute for WS. Some intense gameplay. This is the pinnacle of the library strat.
Hear me out, John.
If it happened.
Support Lycan is the new thing. I'm calling it right now. Support Lycan, Ags Rush, and just go for this facet. This is the thing.
The crazy thing is, I think I had Coach JL once, slightly joking but not fully, saying that he thinks support Lycan could be a possibility if you're really good with like denying area. It's a slow progress into Ags, but you know what? It is somewhat feasible if you can get away with a little bit of a greedier lineup.
Well, he does jungle really fast. Even as a support, you jungle really quick with the innate. I don't know.
Yeah. And you just eat heroes for free. You just farm those supports. Farm that poor Crystal Maiden on the enemy side.
Here's Tim's. Slow it up. Here comes the wolf. One of them at least. Tim's runs. Tim's. He's gone. Natsumi's got him. That was Natsumi's damage. That was not the wolf. I can understand if you got confused though. It's Natsumi.
No. It's just so much minus armor as well coming out from Natsumi. Like the goose plopping on with a hairball. It's surprising. He went to minus 19 in no time at all. From 13 to minus 19 on that. It's just a dumb amount of damage. At the very least, they are split pushing on the side of Boom nicely, right? Like they're shoving top. They're forcing Talon to kind of rotate around. Natsumi is just kind of playing solo, which could be punished. I mean, he does have Aegis, but there's no backup for him if he overstays his welcome. We're not really looking to push the envelope too hard on the side of Boom. They do have that blink on Zhao, so blink lasso, along with a blink skewer back, along with a blink toss, all available. It's just
deleted. I mean, I said it was going to be a chaotic game, John. We're not even seeing team fights here. It's just Talon's picking off everybody. Boom have got no gameplay, John. Like right now, they've got nothing.
They really don't. And again, it feels dreadful to have that kind of situation when you've got triple blinks online. Like Magnus, Tiny, along with
Lasso?
even the Batriders, they lasso.
They're going to find Joe Cam, but he's got a Ghost Scepter. Here comes Natsumi to back him up. Tim's? No, they want Jackie. Natsumi right on top. Jackie just trying to get away. Oh, it's too much.
Oh,
And Natsumi's the lowest farmed core on his team. Like, WS wasn't even there.
Doesn't have to be there, Mikey. It just needs the Wolves to be up front, give vision, get that root, hightail it. Hightailing it out. It's so silly. 6-14, 10k lead for Talon. Age is still up for a minute. Not too much time left here for Natsumi. But they have done a great job of shrinking the map a little bit. I mean, tier 2 still stand. So they still need to get work done on these objectives to really choke out the side of Boom. But you're applying a ton of pressure out in Jackie. You're ensuring that the blink timings aren't really lining up too much. You're making sure Tims hates his life. For whatever reason, it's always Tims. You are making sure he hates his life. Not that he's having fun anyway, having to play pause for Gyrocopter, which just isn't the ideal, especially for a player like Tims and what he can do in a position 4. So maybe a little bit of that flex on Boom backfiring just a tad. I would really like to see Boom just make a rotation as 3 or even 2, like Batrider +1, either the Tiny or the Magnus, and you just try to get some work done.
Tim's dead? No, he's alright. Meanwhile, top lane, Makoto, he gets lasso. Can they cannot.
Ooh.
They cannot. Makoto literally just one-shot him. My goodness gracious me.
This is
what was the lasso even for? Was he just
to use
trying
it.
to get away? Okay. I mean, I guess he's not using it anyway.
No, they haven't had chances here on Boom. And they're not grouping up in the way that I'd expect them to around these timings. Even just like the Tiny blink timing or the FBZ Magnus blink timing felt good. They'll try.
Fuel back. They're going to try for Natsumi. He's got no Aegis up in Natsumi, but he's still okay. In the ghost form, they'll RP him up, but he's just not dying. Tims will be the one to go down. The Ethereal Blade from Makoto making it impossible to finish the job onto the Bristleback. They've left no stone unturned here, Talon. Like,
No.
they've given them, like, 0% chance of taking a fight.
That they have. It's been a rough go for the side of Boom. And again, it just feels like this tempo has swung completely out of their way. Mind you, maybe the BKBs start to help out a little bit. I mean, we already saw FBZ and his BKB not really amount to too much. He's forced to one-man RP. He can't really look for more.
I just watching them like just blink away from these wolves. Zhao's placing sentries everywhere. When else are you gonna see this?
Do you think we'll probably get Lycan banned in the next game as well? Probably. I mean, if not, you're gonna have to figure out a way to handle this. Maybe your solution's what? Like Doom? You can become the Alpha Wolf, I guess. Enchantress, if you want to go that route.
Top lane Makoto is very far forward here, John, but Boom Esports, they're not really in position. Talon now gonna smoke up as 3. FBZ gonna reveal himself taking the outpost. Hook shot though, off the mark. FBZ still gonna be able to skewer out of there, but Natsumi still chasing him down. Blink away is out. Jackie gonna try and do the exact same and we'll get out of there. It's Natsumi, apparently not done quite yet. We'll stick around for a creep wave as now Zhao's thinking about jumping in. Does get a nice lasso, but the Ethereal Blade again gonna make it a little bit hard, but no, Max got it. Avalanche toss proving to be enough. With the bonus ethereal flying in from Makoto. And that's a good pickoff. You are still losing a tier 2 mid tower in the meantime to WS though.
You are, but you're going to be happy enough to get one big kill here from the side of Boom, and they've got the confidence now to start to dip outside. Still have the RP, they still have all of this way of gap closing on top, and they don't have to worry about this big body cutting them off from the squishier parts of Talon. Have to kind of make this work. Good scan to kind of spot a hero on the triangle.
Nice pogs from Jocam. Hook shot right towards FBZ. He'll go for the BKB skill back play onto WS though, and he's got no wolf form available, so WS is a bit of a sitting duck, but Tim's is actually the one dying now. RP coming out as well, but can they actually finish the job? Surely Jackie gets up, and no! The ethereal again! Makoto! He dispels the damn meld!
Oh my god.
Oh, and the chase is on. He's not done. He'll find Jackie. Not poor old Jackie. I don't think he's got a way out of this one, John. Refraction out, but no, it's not going to make it in time. Tips out for Makoto. It's just... I respect great gameplay, but it just sometimes it gets depressing, you know?
That it does. That it does. Just everything going badly for Boom. The hesitation to play off the scan instantly, getting their smoke broken into the low ground by Jocam. The great cogs from Jocam to break off the skewer back plays and just interrupting that entire fight.
Oh my god, Mac. He's okay. With the BKB off, he'll be able to get out of there. Natsumi though looking to move in as Zhao just gets the lead and trying to jump in for an initiation as Natsumi. Is he going Fountain? No, he's not. Tims though may not be going Fountain either. John, Tims desperately trying to get there, but it's not going to be enough. Natsumi will finish the job.
Yeah. You clean up, and they've got a little bit of wiggle room to try to play onto the high ground, but Talon showing a lot of respect for toss back, skewer back plays. We'll go back. You were a little bit low on WS as well. We will play safe. This is giving, again, windows of opportunities out to Boom. We tried to play catch up. We tried to equalize the game just a tad bit. There is a Roche coming up in a few seconds, which Talon can gun for to provide him the safety net onto the high ground once again. We'll see if that's the way it'll go. We'll go for the Tormentor first. Or Cuckoo almost dies.
Tormentor. Yeah, I was going to say, he almost kills Cuckoo in one Lacuna. It's just ridiculous.
No cares. No, he wants it dead. Doesn't care if he's got to kill a support to get that done. Even if it's its own. Well, nice little freebie to come out. Jocam now with the backpack. The jetpack is going to feel a lot better. And is also almost into that point where he's going to have his own hags. Smoke out from Boom. They know they can't afford to give away this Roche. If they just find one freebie here again.
I don't think they can afford to fight either, though. But they are going to start with WS. RP committed. They've got the like. And that's a great start. That's exactly what they wanted. FBZ. Oh, he's not going to make it. 2 for 1 so far as Natsumi still chasing. Does land some nice skews out. Jackie surely can blink away. Has the BKB though, not feeling safe as now Makoto will move in, but misses out on the stun. You can see the fear from Boom Esports every single time a fight starts. Like, yeah, you got WS, but it still costs you 2. It's not great. Like, you got the better gold exchange, but it still feels like they're just going to lose Roshan. You know, it's just not going to happen for Boom.
Certainly isn't. It's not going to take too long at all with Natsumi on hand once the goose starting to stack up. It might be a little bit quicker, of course, if you did manage to have WS around, but it's still not going to be that much of a challenge. You had to commit Lasso and RP on Boom. Onto 1. I mean, that's the crux of the issue here. Like, they can't try to utilize RP on bigger targets, try to tie that into some good Psyblade bounces from Jackie. They are forced to just take what they can get, considering how far behind they are. Again, this Roche is going to go uncontested. The secondary life for Natsumi once again. A banner to help secure the high ground chases. Mikado finds a freebie with his E-Blade, as you tend to do. Tims has really not had a game. And you can't really fault the guy because he was forced to play the Gyrocopter 4, as they have done previously on Boom. And this is something in Boom's drafting that can just work against them. They start off with something big on pick 1, shift it onto support, and... you know, stuff like Terrorblade, sure, it has a little bit more impact. The Gyrocopter, especially in a pause 4, it just... I don't know what you expect from the hero. On pause 5, it kind of makes sense. You're looking to just dominate the lane, then you go Aura Carrier. You just kind of try to give some vision, some damage where you can, and poke and prod. But on a 4, I mean, you're looking for playmake. It's really not there. It's a lot of pressure on Zhao. Again, with the game going the way it is, all you are getting is just a lasso and hopefully an RP on top. And you only find one. Talon will just retreat after one's dead, regroup, and take the fight with all these spells down. See if they find more success here on Boom, though. They're smoked up. They could try to hunt for some stragglers. That is easier said than done with not that much vision coming in here for Boom. And Talon, I mean, they're fine to just kind of chill out. There's that Ags we were talking about on Jokam. There's that full Shivas we were expecting here from Natsumi. So a little bit harder to run away from the Bristle at this point. You've got the Assault Cuirass on WS. I wouldn't mind at this point if WS starts to think about his Ags. Because the only thing that can kind of make this game better is a very angry bristleback wolf form running at you with a lot of spikes coming out from him.
I mean, why not just, wolf bite Makoto? Yeah, why not? Anyone. Doesn't really matter. At this point, you can wolf bite Cuckoo. Cuckoo could probably get it done by himself with the way this game's gone.
You know what? If Cuckoo had Ags, I would not mind that. If he had Ags on the CM, that is the baller play. Legitimately. Bite him, dance around with freezing field with full move speed. Oh, that could be the way to go, Mike. This is the new meta. Support Lycan, support CM together into Ags rushes. Coming to a pub near you.
I like it. Notice as well, Jonathan, if you look at WS, you look at the cosmetic, he does have a certain book on his side. Not very lore accurate at the moment, sadly. As Valve, for whatever reason, decided to remove that beautiful, beautiful item.
They keep it alive in spirit. The Book of the Dead. It's dead, Mike.
It's not the same.
It's
I
dead.
mean, that's quite
It's
literally
dead,
it, isn't it? That's why they brought it. It's like just letting us know that they killed the poor book. Tim's, he'll be okay, I think. He's got to go use the Shadow Amulet.
Just to get
That's so stupid.
Oh my lord.
I wish I could hear the voice comms of Boom Esports this game. I really do. I can only imagine what they're saying about how this game's going. So we are 37 minutes in, 25k advantage. I mean, Talon is so far in the lead. There's not really much to say here, is there, John?
Nope.
Like, one team fight could turn the game, but it's gonna be a great team fight.
Yeah, and again, they have the potential to get those comeback plays. Lasso into toss into skewer back. There's so many ways to punish Talon for their hubris if they were to overstep their bounds. Then again, they just sat through most of this Aegis without really achieving much. Could have taken the risk a little bit, but are happy enough to just sit back and farm. Got the blink delivered out to Natsumi at the very least, so good look to blink out and force a play. We've got Sight of Vice on Mikoto for some counter control in. WS just staying empty on whatever he'd want next.
Mikoto. He's having a hunt around. Mac's gonna actually move in. They might try for this kill. Makoto's kind of by himself right now, but they can't find him. They can't find him. Now Natsumi's here. He'll happily jump in with the shivers. He's gonna find poor old Tim's. Hook shot off the mark. It won't matter. Tim's is down. Poor Tim's. You know, you get given gyrocopter. He probably didn't want to play it. Knowing Tim's, it's just low skill hero I have to play, and here we are. Just, it is a low skill hero, John. These support gyrocopters, there's no skill to it. Let's be honest.
No, really
Mac?
isn't.
Don't clear out the creep. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh, Mac. There
He
you go.
saw
That's how you
Makoto
go.
for a good second as well. Before he did
That
that.
he did.
He
He has
chose
no buyback
to.
as well.
That was a
And
choice.
he has buyback now. That was a choice. At the least he has buyback to kind of cover it. They also had a secondary gem in his stash, so they're not losing too much. Talon don't have that much time on Aegis. In fact, it's expired now. So the safety net for the high ground isn't really there, but at some point you gotta risk it for the biscuit. You have to hit the Ancient to win. And it won't get started slowly but surely. And some kidnapping plays can kick in if you're brave here on Boom. It's just blinks constantly cancel out by Jokam. Does make it a little bit troublesome to look for that angle.
Tier 3 towers. No, they're just going down. Like, there's no commitment necessary. This hightail evasion is so stupid. It's actually so dumb. Like, you have 8 seconds where you can hit the racks and they can't do anything but throw spells out. Oh, lasso. They've caught at least one. Joe Cam is in the base now, but he has the Ghost Scepter and Zhao will drop to boot. They do get a 1-for-1 though. So now Tim's in danger. Tim's is destroyed. WS takes care of him as Natsumi just jumping the fountain with the Bloodstone. FBZ forced the BKB, looking for maybe a skewer. Gets an RP, but there's no damage.
Oh, Lord.
The fountain's doing nothing. This fountain's from Temu, John. It's not doing anything.
Yeah, it is. It's just getting freebies for the bristleback as well. Natsumi maybe getting a little bit cheeky, trying to jump up, but just don't have the punish. One more set of racks to go. Buyback forced out on FBZ. You need to find some way to stop this, but just doesn't feel like there's anything Talon's scared of at this point. One more set of racks. You have all the spells available on Mikado to try to burst. And again, there's some kidnapping plays that can kick in. A skewer back and a toss back, but you have to be perfect about this, and it just doesn't feel like you want that to be Natsumi you kind of take there. Once again.
Oh my god. Oh. Nice flick away. He's okay. Everything's alright. Mikado probably could have just started with the Scythe of Ice in fairness to avoid that happening, but you know, sometimes you just want to one-shot people. Zhao going to get a nice drag back with the lasso onto the bristle, trying to burst down Natsumi, and they've got him. A great start, but WS just casually jumped in. He could not give a crap. He just wants to fight himself, as Mac might actually just die, but no, he'll barely make it out. FBZ, however, will go down. He's got no buyback here on FBZ.
Oh, that's a dieback. Bought back earlier to try to defend. I mean, the kidnap play does work, but it's just not enough. Have to deal with mega creeps and Natsumi's back hole.
Yeah, jump in for more. Joe Cam, beautiful hook shot. Tim's is down. Jackie just bought back, but he's going to die back, and GG is called. Game 1 will go the way of Talon in quite decisive fashion, Jonathan. Boom Esports, I don't know what they're going to change up. Talon, they made that look way...
As well, and you kind of just run from there. You join your team, you jump around. You want to make these connections with the Ember. You want to make these connections with the Magnus, and I think you have to look to win your lanes. So that's the one thing I want to see Boom bring out. A 90 ping is bad for Cuckoo. All right. Sure.
Get it together, Cuckoo. And we're looking at our Queen of Pain, who's doing a lovely dance move by the looks of it. Very, very nice. Take it easy there, Mr. Observer. Let's be careful now.
Whoa.
Oh, we were looking at the Phoenix the whole time, John. Don't you worry. What a beautiful bird we're looking at. Corp was just in the way.
Yeah, it was in the way. Is this Phoenix name Mike the Phoenix?
Oh, John. Well, what's the joke, John? I'm looking for the joke. No, there's no joke, is there?
No, there's no joke. If there was a pony hero, we would have a joke right there.
Oh, shut up, John.
If we had, Keeper of the Light without the old man on top, there would be something to say there. Or Chaos Knight without the knight.
I haven't actually told you. My wife decided to go buy my daughter like a new a bottle, like a water bottle.
Yeah, yeah.
And out of all the kind of things that she could have picked, she literally came back home with a My Little Pony bottle. And she doesn't. Keep in mind, she doesn't really know about this whole thing, right? Like, she doesn't really care about the whole meme. She actually just unironically went and bought a My Little Pony bottle, and now my daughter loves it. It's her favorite bottle. Absolutely loves it. So I have to see this crap all the time in my own home now. John, how great's that?
She's gonna start watching the show. Yeah, you're gonna have to start buying the merchandise. We're gonna have to restart Cuckoo's router as Talon isn't completely in the boot camp. So this is just a Cuckoo problem right now. Cuckoo's fault, as we like to say.
Certainly is.
So we will have to wait a little bit more. Onto the stuff, like the My Little Pony stuff. I know you were trying hard to not integrate that in the family life. Unfortunate, Mike. You can only dodge MLP for so long. MLP.
You know, the thing is, I used to make the joke that one day you'll Google MLP and you'll see my face instead of the ponies. And it kind of has happened, surprisingly enough. If you Google MLP, you'll find me mixed in with the stupid pony cartoons. So there you go, Jonathan. I'm traumatizing kids everywhere. It's great.
Yeah, they're looking for their favorite character. They suddenly see a bearded guy smiling, and they're like, "What the heck is this?" They scroll past. You know,
I'm gonna get sued
Outstanding.
one day. I can feel it. There's gonna
Nah,
be
you're not gonna
a
get
court case for sure.
nah. Look, technically, you're MLP Dota. All right. If there's anything,
True.
you could be sued by two entities. Valve could sue you along with the My Little Pony Corporation. So it's not just one lawsuit you're in for, Mikey. You know?
That's a good point. If the My Little Pony studio ever took me to court, I'd take them up on the battle. I'm not gonna lie. I would claim that I'm the victim in all of this. Right?
The judge would agree. The jury would agree, I'm sure.
I'd fight them, John. I'd do it for the people. Do it for humanity. Here we go. We ready? There we go. Game number 2 underway.
Get into it and see if Boom can come out with his strong lanes. Again, always a bit of a joy for me as well to watch Tim's online. His line has been pretty on point the last time we saw. And I think the last time we saw his line in an impressive performance was probably on his time in Blacklist, which was a while back now, but he knows how to swing around that hero. He knows how to point his finger out, Mike. I'm looking forward to that one. It should be a little bit of a treat. He does go for Essence Eater, as Tim's tends to do. But, Fist of Death is kind of rare nowadays, so what can you do? Just don't have fun
nobody
anymore.
picks it, John. Nobody takes
fun.
it. Don't
Great.
say it's rare as if it's picked up, somewhat often. It's not.
It's fun. It's great.
30 seconds to battle.
You guys just don't like fun. As we have a smoke, that could be fun for Talon if it pans out. Lines are being drawn for a little bit of a flank, but Tim's is ready to break the smoke, so they are aware of some shenanigans that can come in. They've got the ward early on as well to spot smoke breaks in the back. They're in prime position to just maybe get some punishment out. In fact, WS already breaks the smoke in the low ground anyhow. Doesn't seem like we'll be getting too much action early on here. Surprisingly, Jokam should be able to get away with the top rune as well.
Uh-oh, WS is going to get caught by an Earth Spike, but they don't really have much follow-up in terms of disables. Zhao's trying to find the glimpse back, but he just can't get the vision. Had they got the glimpse, maybe you would have had a chance at that, but without it, without the vision, WS will still get away just fine, and what ensures he's not going to have a bad start to his game. As we do look at the mid lane where you are going to see Makoto against Mac. We've seen this before, like the Quap does have the harass potential, but Mac can also kind of give it back with that sleight of fist with the double impact.
Yeah, it's not too bad of a lane for Mac, especially once you hit, say, a Blades of Attack plus an Blightstone. That can start to feel pretty high impact on Mac. Makoto's going to have to watch himself a little bit. I do feel like you are in a happy spot. You're still clearing out the wave with Scream of Pain. You're going to have the Blink to bail you out. You're likely, again, not going for Shadow Strike anytime soon. And the one thing Makoto has an advantage on is Rune Control with a Blink. So that is one thing that you can rely on for Talon. The big thing for Boom is that support rotations could be nice if you get room out here for, say, Tim's. And speaking of Tim's, laning up with FBZ, a Magnus Lion lane is very straightforward. You have some good setup for some skewer backs. You have some good ways of trying to play some burst, some decent magic damage to pump out onto Natsumi on that DK. There is some threat here, but at the same time, this is a DK lane. Natsumi is just going to be farming back. Kuku's always there with the Fire Spirits to try to harass out. And as long as Natsumi's farming out, you don't really care too much. I mean, there's only so much you can do to actually stop the farm of a DK. It's just DK. It's tanky. He has some regen on hand. He's got some cleave later on with a value point on Worm's Rat, and he's happy enough to just sit there and take a passive lane.
Absolutely. Top lane's not so passive. Jackie has been kind of being jumped by WS multiple times already. Does have a shower by him. You've always got the glimpse back play into the Dawnbreaker, so even if they do close the gap, unless it's onto the Disruptor, chances are that you won't see too many kills here. And of course, Jokam's not going to stick around here anyway. He's going to rotate constantly, just mind flaring creeps, securing runes. Does pick up a water rune for himself. Top lane, they are trying. In fact, Makoto's in a bit of danger in the mid lane, but he's probably going to be okay. The chase still continues from Mac. Sleight of Fist is back up, but he's hoping for one more right click before he does commit, and he won't get it. Top lane, there was a bit of a chase as well, but it doesn't really end up in anything either. Bottom lane, however, another chase breaking out as now Natsumi's in trouble. And Natsumi looking like he might just die, but the Icarus dive slow. Not allowing FBZ to get within range for the final hit. So we are yet to see anyone dying.
On the edge.
Jokam?
This is going to cost a lot of mana. Ooh.
Jokam walks away now. Still no first blood.
Well, you'd count this as a win on Boom. You're forcing a lot of heroes back. You're not able to fully reset. You know, you're not bleeding gold away, but you're going to be wasting a lot of money on regen. But that is one thing, although except maybe the Nyx doesn't care for it as much. Certainly the cores like Natsumi would, along with WS getting pressure there. So it's a much better showing from Boom early on in the laning phase, even though they're not getting kills. This is impacting farm. You know, an extra tango here and there, an extra salve here and there does cost a fair bit of money early on. That, again, stalls out your small item buildup, like, say, Soul Ring for WS, just gets stalled a little bit more. Because of that, your supports are also tied into the side lanes, so no one can really come in on mid to try to relieve Mac or try to help Mikado find a bigger advantage. So you cut off that axis. At least there is a bottle top-up now from Jokam. You will have at least that small advantage for Mikado to play with. But he is still working that lane well, 19-7. Again, a little bit slower for Ember at 15-2 for Mac. Water Rune have the potential to deny something away, but Januel has made his presence known. So it should just be a 1-for-1, unless Mikado gets frisky, but isn't gonna...
Oh, he actually does jump in.
Frisky.
Picks up the water rune before Mac gets there, but he may cost his own life. I don't know if this was worth it, Makoto, and it's not. He never even got to pop the bottle with the water rune in it. Even Jokam now going down. A very interesting jump in. Certainly not what I was anticipating.
Well, that's huge punishment. A lot of EXP for Mac to compensate for, again, a little bit of a slower lane. You get some good activity out. You're not losing anything in the solo side lanes, of course. There's no kill potential from any of the heroes on Talon alone. Without their supports, as they are also making moves onto mid. And you have the foundations you'd want now for Boom. This is, again, in stark contrast to Game 1. You are sort of getting into the point where Blightstone starts becoming out for Mac. Blades of Attack is already flying out, I believe, as well. Or at the very least, he's going for Power Treads. So maybe not the Blades of Attack, but at least the Blightstone comes in. Double Impact feels a lot stronger.
WS.
And your answers on Talon aren't really there.
Top lane, and they're trying to move on to the Dawnbreaker. WS, a bit of a sitting duck right now, as Jackie's going to get the Jingu Mastery. WS, though, still just casually walking out of there. They don't really have the follow-up lockdown after the glimpse, sadly, so nice harassment towards the Dawnbreaker, but that's really about it.
Yeah. I mean, again, it's poking and prodding hard. It's making this lane better and comfy for WS. Bottom netward core at the moment. Bottom in CS as well, only going at 13-2. It's been a little bit of a rough time, but melee lane matchups up against Monkey King tend to go this way. And he's just going to have to ride it out a little bit more. They are still looking for some opportunities,
They are.
but
They're still going to give it a crack. Primal Spring in. WS actually jukes it out quite nicely, but he should still be dead. And they do get him. A very nice pick-off here for Jackie. He's been trying for that for quite a bit of time and finally does manage to secure the kill he really wanted. Very nice.
exactly what you'd hope for. Again, the snowball start for Boom off to some solid foundations, like this Power Treads timing into just a Wraith Band. The Monkey King starts to feel pretty uncontestable in lane as a melee hero. You've got the Nyx Assassin support, so you can't really expect Jokam to do much. At the least for Talon, the triangle is still secure. So they are getting some good stacks out on the large camp, not really the ancients. Mikado.
Glimpse back, Makoto barely blinking away. 30 HP he'll survive on. Can't really stick around to get the power rune, so the haste rune will be picked up by Jokam. But God, I love the amount of pressure they're applying this time to Makoto. They're really just not allowing this Quap to sit in lane anymore and get off to the game start it really wants to. Meanwhile, Tim's and Cuckoo going at it. Tim's going to be okay to TP out. Will be fine to reset in the fountain. But yeah, it's so far so good for Boomer. I like the start of this game much more than I liked last game.
And this is going to be pretty tough for Talon to kind of try to ride momentum into the 10-minute mark, right? Like, you always have Solar Guardian whenever that comes up, but considering the slight net worth advantages you're building up, the slight EXP advantage Boom is having, this aggressive cores can just start playing early. Like, they're already lining up trying to contest for the 7-minute Wisdom Rune as well, and I mean, even Max showing in, Jackie already moving through the tree line.
Trying for that wisdom rune, but Jokam still manages to swipe it away. They will at least secure his life, and again, Boom Esports being very aggressive with their own draft. Just a lot of rotations already flying out. But Mac leaving that lane earlier than I would have anticipated. I mean, he's really got no big items up, but as soon as he hits that level 6 mark, he starts making the plays across the map, and so far it's paying off.
Yeah, I mean, again, just the casual Blightstone is pretty damn painful coming out from the Ember anyhow. So there is a lot to apply just with that one item pickup with the double impact. It does feel good in terms of softening up these targets. No one's going to have some armor early on here outside of Natsumi, and you're not making that move down bot anyhow. The one thing for Talon from that movement out from Boom is at the least their triangle did stay intact. So the stacks were cleared out. You get a little bit of some gold injection for WS. But otherwise, it's, again, a very slow game here.
Mid lane, though, both supports, or rather Tims, will go down. Max still trying to chase for the other support, which is Cuckoo's. Makoto now going to blink away, but Zhao is there with the glimpse back and the RP immediately committed.
Whoa.
The Solar Guardian going to keep Makoto alive. He'll finally go down, but it may cost them Jackie. Oh, Jackie getting caught. Had they gotten away with that Makoto kill, I would have called that very worth, but losing Jackie like that is not going to feel too good.
That it isn't. Really nice timings on the RPs and the glimpse backs to kind of get that control. But Talon, they still had a control point in that mid-tier 1. They had TPs that were willing to send in Natsumi on top of it. And again, you did give solo space to WS, who is behind in farm, but is keeping up in EXP with that level 6. Solar Guardian response is always something you have to respect, even at this point in the game. Slight advantage still up for Boom, of course. All things considered, they are ahead 3 kills. Their aggression is still lining up, but starting to make some moves on Talon here.
They are. Tim's gonna get caught. Fairy not gonna help him out too much. Jackie, though, trying to turn now with Mac joining in. They might have WS, and they will. Still a great trade once again for Boom Esports. You give up your support, but WS, he's just constantly being picked off here on this Dawnbreaker. And they're really ensuring he just doesn't have a game yet.
And they've done a great job of ensuring that this Dawnbreaker is just not going to hit the item strides you'd want. So Ag's timing's going to be delayed. Even something casual like a stats for Null Talisman isn't even there yet for WS. And it's going to be hard to see him get any of those timings up. Like, the stacks were cleared out a while ago. That was his 1 gold injection. It just makes him basically a Solar Guardian bot, which is normally what you are anyhow, but there's no real threat if you're not catching a big amount with a lot of heroes. Jokam?
Yeah, he might regret putting his hand up, as he'll get the high five eventually from the mag, but he is going to give his life away for that one. The thing is, he had Vendetta, but he just didn't see the line coming in from the north.
He's very lucky he still managed to get the neutral deny anyhow, so it's quite a fair bit of time he's wasting, at the least, and that's what he's going to be telling himself for the time being. I think Boom are still in a very happy game state, of course. You're 3-6, you're less than 1k above, or around 1k above. Your Monkey King's having a free ride into that Maelstrom we were talking about, and you are inching closer towards that blink threat on FBZ. You're still applying a lot of pressure onto Mikado and WS, and I think the trade-off of allowing Natsumi to farm is actually kind of worthwhile for you. Like, this DK is not going to be threat early. He needs the backup of these cores. Still a little bit longer. Good tree cut on...
Yeah, it certainly was a great tree cut. Jackie being caught. They were trying to set up on WS, but it seems like they're the ones that got hunted in the end. So they'll try again for Jokam, but the Solar Guardian going to protect Jokam. It still will not be enough, but it won't matter if they can find more kills. Zhao trying to run, does go down to the damage of Cuckoo. Now in comes Natsumi to help out. Mac, he has 1 more remnant, and that's pretty much it. He'll get away. FBZ, however, maybe not so lucky, as he has Skewer in 3, but Makoto has Blink in 2. FBZ still gonna go down, although nice stick charges. Survive just a little bit longer, as Makoto being forced to dive real deep for this. But eventually they'll get it anyway. It won't really matter.
Oh, they equalize quite nicely on Talon. Kill board now 6-7, and we're getting some good activity out from Natsumi. And we're getting some great Solar Guardians out from WS. Like, he is managing to stall these fights out long enough for them to have some impact. Stalling out the death of Jokam is already nice enough. It buys time for the rest of the team to get into position. And you even out the game. 6-7, 1k lead for Talon now. Again, not massive by any means. But you have to be a little bit careful with Jackie. I mean, there's no vision down bot at the least. Cliffside wards are on their side, but Jokam?
JK in a spot of danger, or rather Jackie's the one in danger. Is Jackie again gonna get bursted down here by Talon? Jocam's still perfectly okay to back his way out. They'll glimpse him back, but he's got plenty of help around him. He'll die to the sleight of fist. But it's still another great trade, John. I mean, you're finding the position 1 Monkey King every time.
And you are. I'm just surprised that he's allowed to run up. They had vision here from Boom. They had the sentry down the low ground. They had the ward up top. They saw the Phoenix coming in. They should have figured that something was up, that Nyx's Vendetta was up, but they find a punishment. So Talon now starting to rake that lead back their way after keeping Jackie down. And all of this farm is starting to pour in onto Natsumi. And the armlet's up, going for the Mask of Madness next, already has his broadsword up. Like, this DK is going to be a big issue, because you are a pretty physical, heavy lineup. You have some magical burst on hand with your Lion, and to an extent your Disruptor as well. But at some point, this DK will also just go into the BKB. And that's where the trouble begins. See if Boom can start to capitalize just a little bit more here. Got the smoke up with Mac and Zhao. Looking for a movement down bot, but if you only find Cuckoo for your troubles here, not too happy about that. Not the biggest target in the world here for the smoke.
They're looking. Jackie again trying to be aggressive. They're going to see Cuckoo on the Phoenix, so Cuckoo will drop. I'll allow them to look towards that bottom tier 1 tower finally. I don't think we're going to see Talon rotating back down bottom to try and defend that tier 1, but I suppose you never know. Seems like for now they'll probably just let the side of Boom take it. They're more than happy anyway, Johnny. They've got a 4K advantage 13.5 minutes in. They already found the opposing tier 1 top tower. It's no reason to really force this. Especially considering, like, your DK, Natsumi, he's having a grand old time. His farm is escalating more and more, and you know, with the facet, he's not going to have a slow farm time either. It's just not slowing down.
That he certainly won't. And again, Mask of Madness and Armlet up. Arming pace kicks through the roof. They are starting to TP down bot now with Mikado on a flank.
Tim's going to try and go back in onto Cuckoo. They will take out Tim. Solar Guardian going to protect Cuckoo, so he gets the egg off, and Jackie again going to be in trouble. Turns out they were coming, John. They let the tier 1 tower go down, but they were coming. It's FBZ now in danger. RP committed. He'll buy himself a little bit of time, but the chase will probably continue here from Makoto. He's got the blink back up if he wants to. The Mac's going to move in now. Try to save the day here for FBZ. It's like Jocam will get caught. Impale probably not going to be enough to survive. Though Spike Carapace is there, but it's still not enough. That allows FBZ the blink dagger timing, which he finally gets.
You still have a little bit of a window for Talon to not be worried about too much. Static Storm is a fairly low cooldown. Wukong's as well, but RP is a little bit longer here. And you do know, and you should feel safe to kind of clump up and try to make a play off the back of that. Some nice kills for Talon. Again, trading a support for 2 kills on Jackie and on Zhao, on Tim's. And you're starting to snowball out of control. This all happens while Natsumi's just busy farming elsewhere. You're buying space for that DK on the opposite side of the map. You've fully recovered now on WS. He is overtaking the farm on FBZ, and this is a Magnus with max level and power. Not the smoothest of rides for Boom to transition out of a pretty decent laning phase, as we are at the 15-minute mark. And for Boom Esports, I think the key thing they have to be wary about is just going into this mid-game into a DK. I think Natsumi, again, already has his Sanj up. Could go SNY, could opt for a BKB right after that build-up. And once that's up, he really has no concerns. Even the RP, the follow-through damage just doesn't feel like it's going to be coming out anytime soon. You've got your coverage ready on Mikado. He's got his Dagon to counteract the Masochist negative effects as well. You are at the Echo Saber point for WS into his Shard, so he's going to have a bit of a better time to try to line up these Starbreakers. He's got a lot of damage output and durability now on the Dawnbreaker as well, and he could start to opt for that Ags build-up if he'd want. We do have room to siege onto mid.
Not trying. Static Storm was dropped. Mac dropping low, needs to remnant away, does get away with it. The T1 tower going to be perfectly fine as Boom still just not really finding the fight they can actually take. Maybe they try again. Mac's still got an amp damage rune for half its duration. They'll move on to Natsumi, but that's going to be a pretty challenging target to hope to aim down. Of course, Natsumi just literally standing his ground. They'll glimpse him back. Still perfectly fine to just fly his way out, and yeah, nothing comes out of all this poking.
They're forced to commit down the static storm as well. So, one less cooldown to worry about. Although, again, not the longest cooldown in the world. It's not like Talon is instantly going to find an opportunity to just continue this time to keep farming up. WS, again, going for the Ags, going for the Shard as well. You've got the Yule's almost done in Mikado, so he's got a safety net for himself in case he is caught out in a tight spot, which can make all the difference in the world here. We aren't really seeing the cheekiest Vendetta into Solar Guardian plays yet, although we have seen a couple already pan out quite nicely. Let's see if they can start to find it here.
Lane, they've got FBZ, that's for sure. Tim's is going to try to retreat. Zhao will try to help him out. They've even brought Mac in. In fact, they're bringing in Jackie to boot. They want to try and force this fight, but I don't know if it's really well advised. They'll move on to the Dawnbreaker. Still surviving for now. Cuckoo, they'll finally take WS down, but Jackie, he's in the middle of all of this. This is what I'm saying. It's just wishful thinking. Like, you're forcing a fight, you find one target, but what's it going to cost you? You're just too far behind right now to force these fights.
I'm a little bit surprised that they're constantly making these moves a man down. And again, Talon, they get that combination we were talking about, that you love to talk about here, Mikey. They got the Vendetta into the Solar Guardian lined up. Sure, WS dies, but you really don't care. You're keeping that tempo from Boom, that high tempo from an aggressive Monkey King, tying in with his combination on your Ember Mag, away from finding any results. 9k lead for Talon already up. BKB for Natsumi's coming out next as the Sanjin Yash is finished up here. And you have problems. Like, especially once these BKBs come in. Mikoto?
They do at least find a pretty nice quad kill. This is what they really need, is those quick solo pickoffs, especially if they can find a core. I mean, it's easier said than done, in fairness. Talon are rotating very, very fast every single time, but this time they'll get away with a quad kill. They'll move into the mid lane. Looks like Jackie's going to have a quick pause. If you can keep finding those, you might be in a happy position. I just feel like they really can't keep bringing Jackie into these fights because he's just nowhere near farmed enough to try and fight this DK. And you saw it. He was man-fighting Natsumi in his own Wukongs, and Natsumi took literally 0 damage.
And he did. You have to remember as well, with that kill in Mikado, it cost him RP. Like, they have to use that one big lockdown spell. It feels like they're not able to really get Tim's on the action he needs to be, although he's not too far off from the blink, so that could start to remove some of that pressure on FBZ to pop a big spell for that one big pickoff. You can start to play off the back of his line at that point. That should start to simplify this game a tad bit more. 13-12, Talon's still in a comfy spot despite that loss on Mikoto. And I don't know, I feel like it's not even Mikado that's going to be the problem scaling on. It does feel like it's really just going to be WS, as we have a mouse issue from Jackie. All right,
yeah, of course
you heard him, mouse.
Yeah. I mean, that better be a real life mouse, John, because I'll tell you what, it's not that hard to fix these the mice these days. I mean, how's technology getting so advanced, but we still have these problems? That's my question. How is it? Can we not get AI to take over or something? Can AI not fix this problem yet?
No, you're way too big on AI. No, it can't. It's down to physical hardware has to have a physical interface until you get AI-powered robots, Mikey. It's still human bodies that have to get that done. A lot of issues are Windows related. I want to give a shout out. Windows debugs just make me so angry. Fixing stuff. It's always Windows. It's always drivers. It's always some dumb stuff like that.
I never thought I'd say this, but I actually look forward to the day Windows dies and something takes over. I'll be honest,
dude. I would enjoy seeing you work Linux if you think Windows is crazy. I would enjoy that. Legitimately.
I tried it once, John. It didn't work out too well for me.
I mean, it's either that or Linux, man. You pick your poison. Convenience or this nightmare is Mac?
Well, this is a nightmare for Mac right now, but he's got a remnant to throw out if he needs to. We'll commit it. We'll have another one soon. There'll be no chase. Just a tier 1 mid tower for Natsumi to focus down. They just don't make Windows like they used to, John. Back in the Windows 2000, Windows XP era, rather. Those were the good old days. They were great.
It's down to just feature creep, isn't it? Like, technology gets more advanced, coding requirements get more advanced. We expect more from our applications. I refuse to say apps on desktop on desktop applications. It just feels wrong. But, you know, requirements get more complicated.
Oh, FBZ's going to die. Solar Guardian as well. He knew that Makoto could be in danger. Makoto still needs a way out, and he's not going to find it. So a nice trade once again here for Boom. They do give up FBZ, but they get themselves something nice in return in the form of the qual.
It kind of saved WS as well with a glimpse. Maybe not necessary to drag that Dawnbreaker away. Could have been a nice freebie. I'm sure WS is... he's not going to be asking questions about that one, but you are seeing where Boom can find success. Just some overextensions, single target pickoffs is where this lineup can shine. And they are keeping this net worth lead tied at 8k. It's not like it's growing any bigger for Talon. So at some point, if the game keeps dragging on, 8k just means less and less, as long as you're keeping parity. There is still a light at the end here.
Tim's going to die. At least he does get a finger stack before he does go down, as Cuckoo gonna get the egg off in time. Surely they've got enough to... No, they don't. Okay. Cuckoo. What now, sir? He's got Icarus Dive available. He's gonna commit it back towards Zhao, understanding he's probably not getting out of this. And that's gonna be another successful fight here for Boom Esports.
Yeah, they're just finding Talon going for these really crazy plays pretty far out, away from Natsumi. Mind you, the investment on Natsumi is still paying off. 14k network on this DK, BKB not too far off, straight into the Daedalus. I think once you hit this BKB timing on Natsumi, that's where you're much more willing to just 5-man. Again, that is lining up with WS hitting his big Ag spike as well. So you can just afford to ride out, sacrifice a couple of bodies to get that done. I do feel like slowing down Mikado's progression isn't the ideal, but, you know, you take what you can get. As Boom, for their part, and they're also starting to approach their own BKB timing on Jackie. They've got the Yasha set for FVZ on that higher cast point, and you already have that full SNY with a Mage Slayer on Max, so he is a little bit harder to burst down as well on the Ember. You've got the tools starting to ramp up, and it is even on the kill board, 15 to 15. The main difference has just been this DK for the most part. Talon is starting on Roche though. The side of Boom seem to have a rough idea as they do go out for a little bit of a smoke with Tims and FBZ. And FBZ is running in the right direction here to spot this out. But you do have the Vendetta up for Jocam to scout around. So it's going to be able to give themselves some nice information in case some action does break out here.
Absolutely. Here we go. Move in. Mac getting stunned up there for a moment with Jocam. Roshan is down. Jocam has lost his life. Meanwhile, Makoto, though, finding a 3-man Sonic Wave. Zhao looking to just retreat, and so will the rest of Boom, not wanting to fight into this Natsumi Dragon Knight. Jocam, though, gonna buy back. But this buyback, it's not really gonna amount to too much. Like, they'll find Tims. That's all they're gonna get out of this. In fact, maybe they get Mac. Never mind. Mac? Yeah, he's gone. No mana for the Remnant. In fairness, you didn't really need to commit buyback for those, but, you know, nonetheless, it makes enough sense. They'll secure 2 for basically one buyback here from our Nyx Assassin. It's a great fight once again for Talon. They'll get away with an Aegis, of course, for Natsumi, who didn't really need it, but he's got it.
Yeah, and the secondary life, bit of a boon for Natsumi, allows him to play hyper-aggressive with his fresh BKB flying out on him. So you can afford to take risks if he so wishes. 17 to 16, again, Boom. And they're really not losing map space. Like, yes, the network lead is bouncing around a little bit more into 9k, but it's still not the end of the world. You've got that fresh BKB on Jackie. You've got RP ready to go on FBZ. They are looking for an angle out. This could be enough to take care of 2 lives on Natsumi if he's not careful here. If they find a flank, that is.
It's a big if. Well, Makoto would be a nice target. RP's going to be committed. Immediate Wukong's out from Jackie, and they've got a great target now in Makoto. Natsumi already rushing towards them, though, feeling invincible in this DK. So they are going to have to maybe settle for Tims. Mac trying to help out, but he'll get stunned up as well. Mac sticking around, taking a lot of damage. He'll back off, though. He's okay, but he almost dies to one more projectile. Meanwhile, Jackie, though, Being left behind, he'll be saved here by FBZ. He'll pop his BKB and try to run, but Natsumi's on the chase. And Jackie really cannot sustain himself through this damage output. He's down. Even just the rundown from Natsumi proves to be enough. It's still not the worst fight in the world here for Boom Esports. They do at least find a couple. So you could probably call that a win. It's just you had to commit the buyback on Tim's, and losing your carry again, it never feels very good.
It doesn't. It's also a little bit awkward for Jackie. Like, he died because he forgot to toggle off his boundless with his shard. So he ended up jumping forward into the egg. And that just placed him in the firing line of Natsumi. It's also a little bit awkward for Natsumi to try to chase down without his blink. But again, he is opting for damage first. So he couldn't just instantly try to back up Mikado. Mikado, for his part, needs to find a way to prevent just being blown up. I wouldn't mind something like an Aeon Disc for him if he wants to go for that direction after the Shivas. As it does feel like Boom is painting a target on his back. And just ensuring that the Quap is taken out of the equation. The burst damage is gone. The high mobility hero who can poke and prod just deleted before the wider fight breaks out, is making things a little bit tougher here for the side of Talon. Something defensive for the Quap would be a little bit of a godsend. A small smoke coming out from Talon, but it doesn't look like they're really willing to do too much with it, as Mikado is just scouting elsewhere. Cuckoo is just backing up Natsumi, who still has a lot of time in that Aegis, a minute 40, with a BKB set to come back in a few seconds in the backpack. You're not too unhappy about the circumstances here just yet on the side of Talon. We'll find a tier 2 further troubles. 2 tier 2 still stand for Boom, considering the game state. Again, you're still kind of happy on Boom Esports. And as you approach, say, the high ground takes for Talon, as you approach the threat of this Wukong Static Storm threat, an RP threat from FVZ with the skewer backs as well, there's a lot of things you have to consider on Talon that will lead to maybe a little bit more of a cautious game. You'll probably wait out into the next Aegis. Even with the windows off for opportunity while RP is down, you're not really able to find much openings on Talon's end. And that just leads to opportunities for Boom to try to reach parity, right? Mjolnir for Jackie is set to go, has it fully assembled up. So more damage coming in on our monkey. And that full Yashakaya up for FVZ. So really no window for Mikado to escape, as they'll try to smoke off the back of this on Boom. A bit of a long flank into the Wisdom Rune area, but no one really hanging around there. Boom again falling a little bit short on forward vision. Not really able to capitalize on trying to find stragglers. Talon does have a little bit more reach, and again, they have the ace factor of just having Nyx. You do have that way to scout out.
Coming too. Talon not too far away right now from Boom. No smokes are broken yet. Boom smoke about to wear off. So they retreat. Natsumi does show himself at that top lane underneath the creep wave. Aegis is also going to expire, so this is not the worst time to think about going for another attempt at a smoke. Demon Edge is going to be up very soon for Natsumi though, just about 50 gold away, so he'll have the full Daedalus completed. And of course, his damage was already kind of through the roof as it was, let alone with the full Daedalus up. Mac trying to move in, seeing if he can secure an easy kill into Joe Camp, but the Sunray is making it hard as now Natsumi looks to cut them off. Finger will get it done from Tim's. A nice start to this fight. Boom, maybe you've already seen enough. They could just retreat and be happy with that and wait out the next Roshan attempt.
Same thing for Talon, not looking to really push the envelope too hard. Did pop Dragon Form relatively early here on Natsumi. Would love to be able to push onto the tier 2, but again, just a lot of risk factors to consider.
Oh, FBZ.
Without the... Oh?
They've got vision here, FBZ showing. Natsumi will move in onto Mac instead, but doesn't quite land the stun. Still, Mac is dropping a lot of HP here to Makoto, but does remnant away once again. Chases on for FBZ, but they don't really catch out the Magi. So even with the Nyx down, they just want to fight here, Talon. They understand the DK is kind of uncontestable right now.
It is. They don't really find the targets they'd want, and for Boom, very happy that these kills do not lead onto anything in the tier 2. So top tier 2 will hold, bot tier 2 again, not under pressure whatsoever. And for the side of Talon, again, it's just a matter of trying to find another angle in. You have Jokam kind of scattering around, keeping track on good old Jackie, but I don't know if they really have the full follow-through to take care of Jackie +1 in John Uwell just yet.
Oh. Out. He's just dead. Makoto will pick him up. Yeah, the next Roshan going to be the main objective for both these sides, of course. This next Roshan, you definitely can't afford to really let go if you are Boom. Because it is definitely going to be in high ground. Like, you do have Magnus and Monkey King and Ember for that matter. Like, you've got some great high ground defense. And you do have great ways of kind of dragging them back and putting them in awkward positions. But it's still not really advised to let the Aegis go for free. I don't think.
No, definitely not. I mean, you do have some good ways to fight in now. And BKB for FBZ is already done. You've got a BKB already up again on Jackie. Down to 8 seconds, but you've got 2 heroes that can just play into the front line. For Talon, their key BKB on Mikado isn't quite up. And even with that BKB, again, we've seen the RP has tended to be enough to lock in this Quap and look for that burst play anyhow. And will still find a tier 2 for themselves at the least down bot, so a little bit of compensation coming in. Now, Roshan, seeing the timer how long it'll be now, it is going to be 1:20, and not the longest in the world, not the shortest either. There's time to try to balance out these waves on both sides. The side of Talon, I feel like you can't afford to really sacrifice too much. I think you have to be cautious with kind of putting your supports in the firing line before this Roshan happens, because it is a high-risk moment now as Boom looking to make a play out with a smoke. Let's see if maybe Jokam breaks this. Would be massive if he does. It makes it awkward into the Rosh here. Even if your Nyx dies, and he does manage to break max smoke. Instant pings out. That's already a little bit of a loss for Boom. See if Talon can try to capitalize on a broken smoke, though.
Mac, he gets hit by the Impale. Do they have enough control? Mac, still okay. We'll be able to remnant out of there. You just see how much damage gets pumped out in that short amount of time, but without a bit extra, Mac is still going to be okay to retreat out. There's now a bit of a wraparound here from Boom. They've got Zhao, Jackie, and Tim's having a look for WS, but WS knew they were coming. Roshan's up in 10 seconds, by the way, so a nice short timer. Boom. They might be the first ones to scout this out, because they are going through the twin gates to see if they can find it. Natsumi is around the area, though, with Cuckoo. So it could be a little bit risky to try and force it. I think Boom is setting up for a nice fight before that.
Patching out Cuckoo, taking care of the egg, along with a Sunray, could be big in and of itself. You don't have the ward to fully spot. They have the forward ward that sees Mac coming in, so they should know something's up in that position.
A lot of patience. They're going to find Jokam. That's a quick burst down on Jokam. He's got buyback if he needs it. Meanwhile, Mac, he's going to find Natsumi. But again, this is a target where they don't even know they can deal with right now. I mean, they're getting there. Mac, Natsumi, half HP so far. Be dragged back into the Wukong's command, but Natsumi now looking for the man fight against Jackie, and Jackie is not winning the man fight at all. Jackie needs to get out of there. It's not safe. An RP though,
Lord.
FBZ, it's still not enough. Natsumi's just taking no damage. No damage.
Oh, that
well, where's
was just...
the damage?
The egg just mitigated it. You had the shard up in Cuckoo. They were RP'd on top of Sunray. Like, there's no way you stop that. You didn't have the skewer as well from FBZ, or at the very least, he didn't want to use it. And it cost them a full team wipe. They're not even going for Roshan and Talon. They want that high ground. They're going to start digging into those objectives. You've got the damage here with Mikoto, and you don't have anything to worry about. Even with these buybacks available for Boom, there's no RP. There's no play. There's no Wukongs. There's no Static Storm. There's really nothing to worry about, and Talon will just get to work. One tier 3 gone. Mid still being shoved in by Mikado as well, keeping these range creeps alive to go through the back door. No Fortify available as well. Will be refreshed now at least, but the racks are just gone. And Talon could now look for that Roche fight. It's down to how Boom decided to play that. It's down to Boom popping a bit too much just for Jokam. I think you were fine with just Finger. Static Storm was a little bit excessive.
Going in for more. They're not done. They want to put a lid on this game. They could secure their grand final spot with one more good team fight, because there's no real buybacks left here apart from Tim's. But instead, they don't see the opening. Roshan is available, don't forget, so it might be about time to just take the Tormentor and rush for the Roshan pit. The Makoto will get his free shards up now. It's hard as well, because, like, all this time, like, if you don't address Cuckoo, he's providing so much mischance with all these spells. So, like, you're not able to hit Natsumi. Even, like, you don't have an MKB, you don't have anything like that. So the evasion, it gets a little bit ridiculous.
And it does. And again, it's just RPing them to group them up all together for the Sunray was a bit of a boon for Cuckoo. It just allowed the egg to really have its mass impact. 25k advantage still standing for Talon here is Boom. Starting to slip away. They have to be so disciplined with how they stack these spells. You can't just throw Static Storm for the next. Yes, you're stopping the spike Carapace. You're ensuring that Jokam can't stall out the fight, but you lose a key aspect of your own team fight. Right? You end up with just the RP and Wukongs, which is nice. But, you know, trying to burst down a DK at this point doesn't feel quick enough. Trying to burst down true Solar Guardian just isn't really there. Talon just get access into that Roche. Banner ready to be taken. Aegis was well on hand. You do have some forward wards from the side of Boom, but nothing reaching into the pit. It's going to be a little bit tricky for them to even hope to try to contest and maybe just try to hold out on the high ground defense. Like you mentioned earlier, Mike, they do have ways of making this high ground hellish for Talon. With a well-landed RP, Static Storm on top with Wukongs. That combination can still destroy you if you're not careful in Talon. What is up with any team Natsumi's on leaving the banner? No, the courier can't see.
The courier in.
Okay,
but
there
he
you
can't
go.
see it. Cuckoo will take.
Okay.
No, the courier's got. I mean, Cuckoo's got no space in fairness. Like, Cuckoo's actually nine items right now. So is Natsumi. Natsumi actually threw his treads away just for the sake of being able to keep the blink to go into the swift blink.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a decent enough trade for the item slot. Looks a little bit better. No way you're taking the high outside fight right now for Boom. All you can do is shove in lanes where you can. Mac doing a great job on the mid. Jackie taking care down bot. But you have to get something happening on this high ground. And we have to see the combo kick in. You've got to hope for a big one from FBZ to set up for Zhao and Jackie to follow through on.
FBZ trying to move in. Oh, no. They have the gem.
No.
They forgot they gave the gem away. FBZ gets tipped. Uh-oh.
Who was buyback at least, right?
I think it was Zhao that dropped the gem as well, right? Like they just got a kill on Zhao for no reason, and then FBZ I guess didn't get the memo as they do buy back now on FBZ. One last team fight to go. Mac again forced to remnant away because it's just not safe against Natsumi, who has a full swift blink up now. At least they are lacking a creep wave, but it's incoming. Mac gonna move in again, trying to just dish out the creep wave. Raindrak's gone. Mac under siege. Impel is there. RP though from FBZ, but now the Solar Guardians are flying to help out. And again, there's just not enough going on here for the side of Boom Esports. Jackie trapped between a rock and a hard place, still trying to survive in the Wukongs, but there's no chance. WS will deal with him himself. No buyback available on the MK. They've even lost Mac. Jokam will take him out. They have not called it here, Boom, but I don't really see a chance of pulling off this win any longer, I don't think.
No. It's a toughie. FBZ just kind of costing them. I get what he was trying to do, trying to be a little bit sneaky.
WS.
Maybe here.
Oh,
no.
the skewer. It's going to be cancelled with the Yule Scepter. Are they going to call it? Yeah, they will. They've had enough. Props to Talon. They'll be the first grand finalists here in the SEA closed qualifiers for ESL One Raleigh. And, well, for Boom Esports, Jonathan, I mean, they should still have a decent enough time trying to make it through the lower bracket. I imagine, if I was to guess any team that will make it to the grand finals through the lower bracket, it'd probably